So here's the book I was talking about, the Sansweet book. It's called Star Wars: 1,000 Collectibles from a Galaxy Far, Far Away. And it's quite a good book, it's worth picking up. Has lots of interesting articles, all from Stephen Sansweet's massive collection. Okay, this is a really good book. It's got all the early figures on their cards. And then it's got a picture of the Death Squad commander and Darth Vader on a 12-back. I've got the Jawa there, both versions, the vinyl cape and the cloth cape. A picture of them there, and the back, the 12-back card. So very nice. Alright, this book's a real treasure trove. It's got really interesting things. So it's got Jabba's dancer here, the prototype figure that was never made in the vintage line, the legacy version, and I'm not sure what that version is. Is it a mock-up? Yeah, it must be a mock-up. And you've got a picture of a Star Wars display there for Return of the Jedi figures. So I'll just try and show you what this book's got in it. It's got really good stuff. Some Brazilian games, Japanese and Mexican toys, modern toys or dolls, these things, Mighty mugs, which you can still get, Canadian utility belt. What else? Han Solo blaster, Japanese oddities, little metal figures, Yoda as an interactive puppet, and a talking Yoda, Ewok stuff, Potato Head, Lego, more Lego, tin toys, Salacious Crumb, what else? AT-AT made out of wood, the Bantha and the Sand People, lots of other things, wind up R2-D2 there in the top corner, pinball machines, bits and bobs, clothes, jackets, t-shirt, patterns, shoes, Star Wars shoes, Clark shoes, a Stormtrooper thing, I think they're clear sandals, Star Wars boxer shorts, jewellery, R2-D2, C-3PO, sorry, Star Wars watches, ties, masks, costumes, that's pretty far out, badges, that looks pretty cool, that Stormtrooper with the US flag on it, t-shirts, more t-shirts, what else, jackets, helmets, bits and bobs, cream of Java soup, Star Wars cereal boxes, Star Wars mallow shapes, Star Wars popsicles from Australia, more Ice Lolly wrappers, some Japanese stuff. What is this thing? I don't know what that is. Cheese Delicious. Ugh. Glasses, bits and bobs, or whatever this stuff is, you know. More Star Wars things, Jar Jar Binks, ever popular character. M&M's, German stuff, some hippo stuff, Star Wars Heinz spaghetti shapes from England. I've actually got that Darth Maul one. Oops, things falling off. What is this? Some sort of villain's curry. Where's the curry? Oh, Star Wars curry. Wow. My goodness. Star Wars curry premium discs. I never knew that existed. Star Wars Coca-Cola bottle tops from the 70s. Pepsi cans, Star Wars. More Pepsi stuff. Grievous, wow, that looks wicked. What's this stuff? Star Wars Bon Joda sculpture. More sculptures. Some of these are fan produced. That's quite good artwork. Posters. Blockade runner there, looks wicked. Yep, fan produced stuff. Mock-ups by fans. Han and Leia zombies. The actual CDs, the music soundtracks. Let's go for this a bit faster. Star Wars photo of the box for the trading cards back in the 70s. The actual trading cards. Blue set, red set, yellow set, green set, and orange set. Everyone knows the green set. This card here, 207, is the most famous. More trading cards. Signed trading cards. Clone Wars trading cards. Autograph cards. Cool looking Stormtrooper, Princess Leia. Oh no, it's Padme, isn't it? Sorry. Millennium Falcon there. Disney stuff. Anakin revealed. X-Wing, cool. Star Wars on the racing car. What is that? Helmets. Star Speeder. Lightsabers. Death Star parts. TIE Fighter there. Umbrella. Death Star again. Sellotape dispensers. R2-D2 toilet brush. Star Wars Colgate toothpaste, wow. Episode 1 stuff. So overall it's a really good book. It's a real treasure trove. You can just, it takes a while to get through it. I mean, I'm just skimming through the pages. You can see how much is in it. Different comics from different countries. You got a Danish one, a Norwegian one, and a British one. I've got loads of these British ones. They're really easy to find still. Then you've got some oversized comics. Star Wars guitars. Star Wars whatever they are. Star Wars star cards. Gaffy stick. Odd stuff that's been made. And you know, there's some real interesting things. So this book's worth picking up. Let's see how much it costs. It's 20 quid in the UK, $35 in the US, and $45 in Canada. So that's how much it costs. A really good book. I really recommend it if you're a Star Wars fan into either the old stuff or the new stuff. This has got a real good mix of both modern and vintage, so it's really interesting. Okay, here we've got the Star Wars The Ultimate Action Figures Collection by Stephen J. Sansweet. Everyone knows this guy. And this is a really good book. Costs £12.50 at Amazon UK. And yeah, it's a great book. Lots of reviews of this book. This seems to be the book of the year in terms of Star Wars collecting. It's a really sweet book. And you know, I can't show you everything, but it's really sweet stuff. It really is all about loose action figures, and Kenner and Hasbro have just put out so many of these figures that it's really hard to know how many there are really. And it, you know, it doesn't show them all, but you know, it shows enough and just shows you how many action figures they've been put out since 1978 to 2012, which is most of my life. And you know, I was only 8 in 78 and now I'm 42, so you know, how many Star Wars figures have they been? There's been so many, it's just, and you know, it's impossible to get them all. So this gives you an idea. It gives you like all the different characters, like here's Anakin Skywalker, so you can go through this. It has little anecdotes about the figures, tells you what they are, whether they're repaints or if they're Kit Bash figures or if they're entirely new sculpts, and you can just decide whether you'd want to go track a certain figure down if it really appeals to you. So everyone has their favourite characters. Like a lot of people like Anakin because he becomes Darth Vader, and then you've got obscure characters. Some figures there's only been one of that character, others there've been so many. Like here's the AT-AT drivers here, and there's been a few of them. AT-ST drivers, been a few of them. Aura Singh, been a few of her, including the Clone Wars version. So you've got just so much to go through. This book just is such a joy to read and look through, and you know, it's I think it's FlyGuy.net who says that this is sort of Star Wars or orgasmic or Star Wars porn, and it really is. It just, once you start going through this book, you just can't stop reading it. You've got Biker Scouts there. Everyone loves Biker Scouts. Boba Fett, the boss, all the different versions of Boba Fett. It says what is the best version of Boba Fett as well. And you know, there's the rocket firing Boba Fett from the last couple of years ago. The Boss figure, the 2007 figure is the best, but even the Power of the Force version of Boss was a great figure. C-3PO, Cad Bane. This book's so massive that I'm not going to be able to show it like I did the toys, action figure toys book by Jeffrey T. Colton. That's better because it shows all the packaging, but this just focuses on the action figures. And it's interesting because you just this is the clone section, so this is just massive. It's about 20 pages long. AT-TT Tank Gunner, I've got that one. You know, there's so many clones. Bring on the clones. Where are the clones? There's just so many. You've got the Clone Wars, you've got the Vintage Collection, you've got the Revenge of the Sith Clones. There's the Shock Trooper, nice figure. You know, so this book's just amazing. Look at that, how many pages about clone troopers, just not endless. So, and a lot of people just focus on clones and build armies of clones. There's the new Clone Trooper Lieutenant, that looks like a great figure. Cobra Ops Clone Trooper, that looks like a good figure. So this book's just the dog's bollocks really. It's really hot. Scorch. Then we go into other figures. Cloud Car Pilots, Darth Tyrannus or Count Dooku. It has little anecdotes about the film and all that sort of stuff, you know. But I mean, there's what, 4 sentences on average per figure, so you're not going to get much. You're not going to get a massive essay. But you've got lots of different interesting figures there. Darth Vader, so this is a great figure. Everyone loves Darth Vader. And got all the different figures you can get for Darth Vader. Death Squad Commander, Gengar. What else? Others, we're on to E now. FX7, FX6, Gamorrean Guard, General Grievous, great figure there. Geonosians, this one, almost got that one, I haven't got her yet. Greedo, classic figure. Hammerhead, and you can just look through this. Now, Han Solo's got a great section, he's a great figure, love Han Solo. You know, great figure, one of my top 3 easily. Han Solo, Luke Skywalker and Princess Leia. Hermiodor, he's a massive figure, great figure, have to get Hermiodor. The Hoth Rebel Troopers, so you know, tells you about articulation, whether it's a repaint or that sort of stuff. Jabba the Hutt, more Jabbas. Jango Fett, everyone loves Jango Fett. Jar Jar Binks, not everyone loves Jar Jar Binks. The Jawa, Final Cape Jawa from 78, classic figure there. Jack Pawkins, so you know, you've got great figures there. Jedis, Klaatu, Lando Calrissian, great figure. Luke Skywalker, so you've got loads about Luke Skywalker. I just did a review of that figure, the OTC Bespin Luke. Other Lukes, there's the great Luke, the medical frigate Luke, have to get that one. Then it goes into other figures. Mace Windu, goes to EU characters, Expanded Universe, Clone Wars. It's just got everything lumped together, it's brilliant. How the book's organised, figures are organised by character names, or if they have another name, then they might be put in a different section, so you might have to flick pages back and forth just to find a certain character. But this is just a great figure. Owen Lars, that Leia, I mean Padme, I want to get that one. The Emperor, other figures, Plo Koon, Power Droid, this is a great figure, love Power Droid from 78. Great figures. This book just rocks, man, it really rocks, you should get it. Princess Leia, there's the original Princess Leia, my favourite figure. Leia Hoth, I just got her recently, graded. You know, Power of the Force figures, then other figures. So it's just a treasure trove. You can just look at how figures have evolved through time from say 95 to the present, or even earlier, and you know, it's just really interesting, you know what I'm saying, man. R2-D2, I want to get that one, the dirty R2-D2 OTC. R2-KT, just got her, great figure, price on that's dropped. Loads of Astromechs, look at all the different, so this is an area that people really collect as well, is the Astromechs. So many different paint variations and people love to customize them. All these other cool figures, the Rancor Keeper, Rebel Fleet Trooper, Rebel Commando, Reuse, this is a great figure, that one. All the Emperor's Royal Guards, vintage is still the best from 83. They haven't, that 2012 figure is not better than the vintage figure. Sizey Tin, Sand Troopers, everyone loves Sand Troopers because they're sandy, you know. Savage Press, I want to get that version, the one with the armour. Thingy, lots of thingies here, great figures. Snaggletooth, Blue Snaggletooth. Blue Snaggletooth's a legend, man. Snowtroopers, Hoth Snowtroopers, just had a vintage Hoth Snowtrooper up, you know. Concept Skywalker character, Squid Head, you know, this book just rocks, man. It rocks for Star Wars fans. So, I mean, if you can get in the UK on Amazon for $12.50, I mean, Forbidden Planet's got for $12.99 online. You can get on eBay, I'm sure, for that sort of price as well. But Amazon, you don't have to pay postage. It's a wicked figure. Never seen it before. So it's great because, I mean, you see figures you're familiar with, figures you haven't got a clue about. Sam Person, love that figure. Tig from the Droid series, he's quite hard to find. Walrus Man, Ponda Baba, the original one, or I mean the 2010 version or 2011 version, that's a brilliant figure. And then you've got the original 78, 79 figure. Blix, the legend that is Blix. You need mega bucks to try and get him. Rike, other figures. There's so many figures, man. This book's just a real treasure trove. Watu, all these other figures. Wicket, who doesn't love Ewoks? Wookiees, Yak Face, the boss that is Yak Face. Yoda, the Jedi Master, great figure. More Yodas. How many Yodas have there been? This doesn't have every figure that's been released of a certain character, but it has loads. People like this picture at the back, and then here's the cover. Back of the cover. This is the UK version of the book. UK price is 25 quid recommended, but you can get it at half price at Amazon. So this is a really good book. Highly recommend this. Yeah, this book's just so good. And I mean, I'll give you a few examples of what it says. Like it says here, when Solo meets Jabba in the original trilogy release, we don't meet Jabba the Hutt until Return of the Jedi. But when George Lucas released the Star Wars Trilogy Special Edition, he inserted a cut scene and replaced a human stand-in with a digital Jabba. This figure's been resculpted and is a bit more svelte than the carded version, as in the scene. Han's shirt collar sticks out over his vest, and there's that figure from '97. So you know, it's a great book. Lots of Han Solos. Everyone loves Han Solo, and you know, it has obscure figures like this character here, Hechel Carl Fass, 2009 Legacy Collection. So it tells you what card he came on. A background Cantina Shrek, whatever, is a new sculpt. His backstory is that he is a Saurian from the planet Dirk Teal. He's a droid trader and has been searching for R2-D2 and C-3PO. He tries to follow C-3PO out of his cantina, but loses him in the dusty, crowded byways of Mos Eisley. So you know, IG-88, classic figure. And you know, Imperial Gunner from '85, that's a classic figure. Imperial Sentinel from the Dark Horse series, Expanded Universe, great figure. Power of the Force, Jango Fett. So I mean, who isn't going to want this book? Unless you're not into Star Wars. But if you're into Star Wars and collecting action figures, then this is a no-brainer. You're going to want this book. So get it ASAP, or put it on your Christmas list. And when it's Christmas and Father Christmas comes and visits you, you know, you're going to have a nice something that's going to, you know, but make sure you don't forget to put the turkey in the oven, otherwise, you know, you'll just be reading this, and when it's Christmas lunchtime, you won't have time. You'd have just been reading this and, you know, thinking, oh no Christmas dinner. So highly recommend this book. You know, to make it perfect, I would have said it would have been nice to have little pictures of the cards the figures appeared on, but you know, you can't have everything, and this is just a really, you know, a great book, and you can just spend hours just lovingly looking for, turning each page. And you know, I've just done a review of that figure, the Mon Calamari A-Wing pilot. Using forearms and legs from other figures, this Mon Cal pilot has a new head, torso and upper arms. A similar pilot was filmed but not used in the movie. So this is just such a great book, and you can't go wrong with this. So cheers, bye. And I'll just show you the cover again. That's the back cover. Just a really nice collection of all the different figures, and there's the front cover. So can't recommend this more. Brilliant book. £12.50 on Amazon in the UK, so get it now, or get it for Christmas. Cheers, bye.
Okay, I'm going to be talking about this quite famous book, John Kellerman's Star Wars Vintage Guidebook, and this book's been out of publication for quite a while, and it's going for quite a lot of money on eBay now. Going for about in the UK, it's going for over £100, up maybe even up to £200. And there was meant to be a volume 2 coming out, but that hasn't happened, and so this book's become quite legendary amongst vintage collectors. And so I'm going to show you the whole book. I've done a talk about this book before, but this time I'm going to show you the whole book. So here you've got like prototype art for the actual design of the figures. Then you've got this chapter 2, card figure differences. So it's showing you like the blue and red snaggletooth there, everyone knows about that. The Yak face, which was only released in Canada, also on Tri-Logo. The telescoping Ben Saber. Now it's showing you all the actual figures and the major variations. So you've got Luke with telescoping saber, Luke with brown hair, blonde hair, Han Solo big head, small head, and all the early release figures. So it's quite in chronological order. It's showing you first the Star Wars, now it's on to the Empire Strikes Back figures, and it's showing you the major figure variations. Not all of them though. It doesn't show you like the variations like with the Return of the Jedi figures like Kutu there. There's a grey limbed version, and then there's a tan limbed version. So, and like the General Medine, there's a grey haired version and a green haired version, and they're quite well known amongst vintage heads. And then the Power of the Force figures there. Then now it's going on to figures that are the same or different, and like the Biker Scout short mouth and long mouth, green limbed Chewbacca, the Han Solo trench coat with the camouflage lapel and the plain lapel. Here it's showing you all the different figures you can get on the same card. So you've got Luke on the Star Wars card, Empire card, Jedi card, Gunner card, plus the hair colour variations. R2-D2, Chewbacca with the first and second picture on the Return of the Jedi cards. C-3PO, original version, then the version with the limbs that are removable. Stormtrooper, Darth Vader there. You can see the second picture Darth Vader on Return of the Jedi there. Darth Vader with telescoping saber, which is really rare. What else can you see? A Stormtrooper on Power of the Force. Ben Kenobi with the grey hair and white hair. Han Solo small head and big head. They're quite major variations. The Jawa, the vinyl cape Jawa there, really rare. That's one of the holy grails of vintage collecting. Death Squad Commander, and his name changed on Empire Strikes Back to Star Destroyer Commander. So this book's just amazing. It focuses totally on Kenner cards, US cards, and only goes on to foreign use of Kenner cards. It doesn't really address Meccano, Palitoy and other foreign cards, which is a real shame because then this book would be perfect. Boba Fett, you can see the two picture variations on Return of the Jedi. Princess Leia, early release, profile, then front picture, T-neck and so on. IG-88, Bosk. So some of the figures you might get 2 or 3 variations, some you just get 1. Luke Skywalker Bespin, he has quite a few variations. Lando with teeth, no teeth. Empire and Jedi cards. Yoda has 2 picture variations, and then he has 3 snake versions: orange snake, green snake, and brown snake. Dengar, Han Bespin, Lobot, Princess Leia Hoth, the Attack Drive on Power of the Force, that was only released in Australia and maybe Canada. Luke Hoth, Attack Commander, Cloud Car Pilot, Black Bespin Guard, Admiral Akbar, Luke Jedi. Luke Jedi comes with 2 major variations, that's the green saber and the blue saber. Luke on Power of the Force there, Jedi. Gamorrean Guard, he's another Australian release, Power of the Force. Tattoo, Biker Scout, Power of the Force. So this book, if you're into vintage Star Wars collecting, then this is just, you know, and you're a Kenner collector, then you're just in 7th heaven. That Nikto on Power of the Force is really rare. Han Solo on Power of the Force, trench coat, that's quite a rare one. And so you get all of these really nice illustrations, and the pages are really thick and quite heavy, so it's a top quality book. Original price for this book was $35 US, and if you go on eBay now, that Anakin Skywalker is really rare on Powder Force, rarer than the Yak Face, goes for a fortune. You've got all the Powder Force figures there, the ones that came with the coins. And now we're going to look at figures that are the same, all slight variations, like Luke with the brown hair and blonde hair, vinyl cape Jara, cloth cape Jara, Han small head, big head. Really rare on the Empire Strikes Back card, the Han small head. Darth Vader with telescoping saber, Princess Leia with turtleneck and crew neck, Luke Bespin with brown hair, all yellow hair, Lando with teeth, Yoda with different coloured snakes, Luke with the different coloured sabers, Death Squad Commander with the name change, Chewie with the 2 picture variations, Darth Vader with the 2 picture variations, Luke with the gunner card and the original picture, Ben Kenobi with the picture change, Han Solo with the picture change, and Boba Fett with the picture change. So those picture changes are all done with the Return of the Jedi. Picture differences on Luke Bespin, picture differences on Leia Bespin, and picture changes on Yoda. Now we've got Luke, different figure, different card, R2 different figure, different card, and R2 again with different figure, different cards. So Kellerman, John Kellerman, who I think's passed now, he's in this book he just categorised figures in such a way. That must be the Stormtrooper on 21 back. He's also made in these books these matrices, which you can find them on Rebel Scum, and they're really detailed, and they tell you which figure was available on what card. So the Han Solo, for example, was available on Star Wars 12 back, 21 back, 20 back, Empire Strikes Back, cards 30 back, and so on and so on and so on. And you have little dots to indicate that they were available. Then you've got card front back combinations. So say you've got 12 back, you've got a 12 back A, 12 back B, C and D. You're 21 back, you've got A, B and C as well, and so on and such. You've got a lot of 20 backs as well because of the Boba Fett offer. So you've got the Rocket Fire Boba Fett offer, which eventually was covered over. So these are all 20 backs. And then 21 backs there, Star Wars cards. And then you've got on this page what front and back combinations exist and what differences are between a 20 back A and a 20 back C, for example. And then we're on to Empire Strikes Back, same thing. So you've got Empire Strikes Back 21 backs, which are pretty rare, then 30 backs, 31, you know, and they're just, there's the Revenge card offer on the 48 back. Then we go on to Return of the Jedi, starting with the 48 backs, 65 backs, 77 backs, 79 backs, US Kenner cards. And then all the different Power of the Force now, 92 back. Then this is the mail-in offer sticker. So it's very rare to get that on the Star Wars or Empire Strikes Back card, but they're placed quite common on Return of the Jedi cards. Then more matrices. So this book is like, if you're really into detailed analysis of what figures are available and what card back combinations, you know, here's foreign use of Star Wars cards. You've got Japanese Takara, Singapore Fan Club, really rare, and here we've got Australian Toltoys card, really rare, Australian stuff. Then more Australian stuff, I do believe. They're very similar to Kenner cards, with just maybe a sticker over it. I think these ones are Palatoy cards with, I mean US cards with Palatoy stickers on it. Here's the Japanese Takara, and those were for Star Wars. And then they moved on to, on Return of the Jedi, it was Sakuda who released the figures. And all they did was take a US Kenner card and put a sticker on the back of it. Here we've got Dutch Clipper stickers on US Kenner cards. So you've got the Boba Fett offer in Dutch and French, I think. And then we've got the Dutch clip art offer for a free mail away figure and a wraparound sticker at the front. They're pretty common. They also did those on Palitoy cards as well. So there's a clip art sticker there on a US card, and there's a little mail away coupon on the back of the cards that you could okay, here you got the 12 back what's that, early bird set, sorry. So early birds was a US offer, so we never got that in the UK. So you could get the first 4 figures mail away. Very famous offer, early bird set. And then these are, what are these? Just mail aways, so you get a single figure and a little catalogue as well. So you've got so much information in this book. You've got all the coins, the 62 coins. Really hard to assemble that set. Some of the figures, Power of the Force figures, came with the coins, but a lot of them you had to mail away. That's why it's really hard to assemble the full set. Multi-packs, these are another US exclusive. I think Canada did the same as well. So you got the Star Wars 3 packs. These go for a fortune now. And then these ones have got a special offer as well. So these ones with the special offer are even more costly and even more rare. What is the special offer? I'm not sure. I think it was maybe an action display at the back you got with the figures. So these are the Empire Strikes Back ones. These are even rarer than the Star Wars ones, I do believe. And then you've got the 6 packs there, Empire Strikes Back. They're not quite as rare, these 2 sets there. And then on Return of the Jedi, at the end of the line, they just sold 2 figures on generic cards. Here's some European figures. They've just been stapled onto one large card. So that's an Italian one there, a German one there, Parker, very rare. And then I think this one's German as well at the top. That's a mixture of Kenner and Tri-Logo cards. Here we've got our multi-pack boxes. So these would come from somewhere like Sears in the US, and you could just buy 3 figures or 4 figures in a box. The blue and Snaggletooth there. These are the figures in the Kenner baggies, so even the bags that the figures come in are quite different, and you can really go into great detail about what different bags you can get. People do collect these. So then there's miscellaneous figures and related items. So here we've got play sets that came with figures. So you've got the Sears Cantina play set, which came with the blue Snaggletooth, the US Death Star, which came with the Dianuga creature. These are other play sets that have stickers on them which show that they came with figures. The Revo Band play set, the Jabba the Hutt set, the mini rigs. These ones are only in this book because they've got a special offer and they come with those figures there, which makes these incredibly rare and worth about 10 times the price of just the mini rig by itself in a box. We've got vehicles there, the Snowspeeder with the same sort of special offer. The X-Wing there comes with Luke and Han. The TIE with Vader and the Stormtrooper. Trim Pokala with Bespin Guard, it looks like. Then you've got the creatures, you've got the Hoth Romper, the Dewback, the Rancor, the Tauntaun. These are all in US Kenner boxes, because they also came in European boxes as well, especially by Palitoy. These are action figure cases. The Darth Vader one's quite famous, and the one next to it comes with 3 figures. That Empire Strikes Back one there is really rare, I do believe. I guess. And then we've got pre-production items. So now we're going on to like looking at early designs of the cards, and we've got the sort of concept art for what the cards would look like before the original 12 backs were released. So you've got the double racetrack there. Now we've got chromolins and cutouts of the actual cards. So we've got Revenge there, Return of the Jedi. People collect them, they're really, really expensive. I'm not sure what all of those are. I think these are, what are they, samples or something. And we've got the Star Wars 12-back cards. Really, 12-backs are like probably the most prized amongst collectors because they were the first and they look the best. We've got Empire Strikes Back cards there. We've got Revenge of the Jedi cards there. They're quite famous. The proof cards. I mean, if you're going to collect any of the proof cards, the Revenge of the Jedi ones are probably the most obtainable. And then there's Return of the Jedi proof cards. And more proof cards. Wow. So this book's just a wealth of information, and it's very visual, so it's very appealing to the eye. And that's why I think it's just gone, it's got such a legend amongst vintage heads that's why they're willing to fork out £100 minimum for this book on the secondary market. Now you've got Powder Force there, then you've got more matrices. Now we're moving on to pre-production figures, so you've got early concepts of Boba Fett with the rocket firing feature. And these figures are so rare. Then we've got sign-off cards, so these are from the factory with comments about the product. Then we've got the coins there and more bits and bobs, and we've got actual packaging, pre-production packaging, so you've got the Cloud City playset there. Then we've got more, and it shows you how the colours were put together. So I think these are called chromolins. Now we've got displays, so these are the sort of displays you'd find in the actual toy stores to help promote the items. These are highly collectible as well and are really expensive as well. So these are for the early Star Wars, so those are like boxes to put the figures in, display boxes, Empire Strikes Back stuff now. So you've got the whole history of Star Wars Kenner products with Empire Strikes Back, Return of Jedi, so you can see the new wiring there. Then you've got shelf talkers and little posters and all the sort of paraphernalia that was associated with the Kenner Star Wars line. And these are all highly collectible, and he's even got maybe production images. There's two really nice Empire Strikes Back ones. Promotional items. So this sort of stuff would be like the mini catalogues you'd get with the inside the box vehicles and mail away figures. These are highly collectible as well. And then you'd get stuff, that poster's really famous. So you've got the figures around the birthday cake. Do you dare recreate the adventure? And you've got competition promo stuff, sweepstakes at the time of Return of the Jedi. Then he goes on to about grading. So a low grade would be a C1, a mid grade C5, C10, and then it doesn't really touch AFA grading or UKG grading, but it talks about, and here he's talking about fakes and how easy it is to fake a vinyl Cape Jawa. There's the index. Keep watching because I've got a few images of the sample pages from the second version of the book, which isn't going to come out. There's the original price, $35 US. I got this in the UK for about maybe £30 at Forbidden Planet, and now I'm giving it thumbs up saying it's really good. And now these images here are taken from their sample pages from the second edition of this book, which isn't coming out, which is a real shame. So now he's got the 12-inch figures, the vehicles included now, and was going to be a chapter on Tri-Logos, because Tri-Logos was sold in the US as well. Then the droids, so these figures were all available. There in the top corner is the Boba Fett, that's a really rare one. Then these are hard copies of the figures, so these are incredibly rare. Then artwork for the actual card backs, so you've got Leia, Bespin, Bosk, 4-Lon Mozocus and 2-1B. You've got the Boba Fett there. There's the only known carded example of a rocket flying Boba Fett. Then these are 12-inch figures that only made it as far as production samples. Powder Force cards that didn't make it. Rare droids figures, only Vlix made it, and that's on a Brazilian card, really rare, very expensive. And these Ewoks figures, they too were never released. Okay, bye. That's it. Cheers. Okay, this is going to be a review of the book, The Ultimate Guide to Vintage Star Wars Action Figures 1977-85. It's by Mark Bellomo, and it's all about the Kenner vintage figures. And I got it quite recently. It's published by Kraus Publications, and you can get it for about £16 in the UK. It's divided into part 1 action figures, part 2 accessories, and here's the introduction, how to use this book, listing. So it's all about the Kenner figures and those that were sold in the USA. So it has bits about mint on card, all that sort of stuff, prices. The prices in this book are totally out of date and useless. Part 1 is action figures. So here it gives you a little bit about the history of the action figures and all that sort of stuff. Early bird certificate, which is really rare. Then it goes on to the figures. So this is how each figure is presented. So a major character like R2-D2 will get 2 pages. A lesser character will get just 1 page. So like maybe the Cloud Car pilot will just get 1 page. Okay, so it says R2-D2 there. Captain Panaka, so it has a few little quotes from the character there. First appearance early bird certificate, first carded appearance 12 back, original retail price $1.99, and any variations, so early bird, darker blue paint, or standard blue variation and then with paper label unique to the figure. Most of what he's written here is not about the action figure or the action figure history. It's all about the actual character. So it's not really useful if you're a vintage collector, because you want more information about the actual history of the character or figure. Same with this Chewbacca here. So it's got the same sort of information there. First appearance, any variations, you know, like the green lights crossbow, the darker regular version of the crossbow. I don't know if he talked about the green limbs Chewbacca, but most of this information here is about the actual character. So it's more about the history of the actual movie character and his expanded universe, rather than the actual figure, all the packaging variations and stuff like that. For that, you'd want a book like Kellerman, which is 10 times better. But this isn't such a bad book. It's not good for an advanced vintage collector. It's more of for someone that's totally new to the vintage collecting. And there's other books that are better than this. You don't get much pictures of the figures on the cards. See, you just got this Princess Leia 20 back there. These prices at the bottom here are just totally erroneous and out of date. I mean, these are the sort of prices you're talking about in the late 90s. This 2015, so he should have, done a better job with the pricing. Darth Vader's. So you've got all the different variations, all the first appearance on the card. Han Solo here. Big head, small head. Well, everyone knows that. C-3PO. Stormtrooper on cards. Variations would be with the sculpting. So you're not going to really learn anything new about the hobby if you're into collecting vintage figures. Death Squad Commander, Star Destroyer Commander, Jara vinyl cape, very famous. Tusken Raider, the Cantina Aliens Greedo Hammerhead, the red and blue Snaggletooth. So I think here we'll talk a little bit how this blue Snaggletooth came to be, came about, and then how it was changed to the red Snaggletooth. Walrus Man R5D4, Death Star Droid, that's a great figure. Luke X-Wing, Power Droid, Boba Fett. So Boba Fett's a really popular character. So you've got first appearance was the male Ray, first carded appearance 21 back. Original male price was free with 4 proofs of purchase seals. Original retail price was $1.99. There's nothing about the tri logos here. There's a bit about the the legend of the missile firing Boba Fett and all that sort of stuff. Then we go on to Empire Strikes Back figures. Bosk. He was the first mail away figure, Bosk. Bespin Guards. You've got quite a few pictures there showing you the differences in the shape of the moustache. FX7, Medical Droid, Han Hoth. So you've got variations to the leg moulds and the skin tone. IG-88 can be found with grey or silverish finish. The Snow Trooper. Hoth. There you've got the 3 variations, single slit eye, all that sort of stuff. Luke Bespin, Lando Christian with teeth, no teeth. First appearance was on 31 back card, same with the Luke Bespin. Variations with the Luke, so you've got yellow hair, orangish hair, and brown hair. Princess Leia with the crew neck, and then the turtleneck. Hoth Rebel Soldier with he's got a few major variations. Here he doesn't even mention the major variation, which is the dark brown vest, which goes for a lot of money. You've got Yoda here, orange snake, brown snake. There's nothing about the green snake either here. So the tri logos should have been included in this because they were sold in the USA. Han Bespin, Lobot, slight mould variations. Argnaut, main variation with him is the colour of his smock. Attack Driver, main variation with that is the colour of that logo there. It could be orange or red. Princess Leia, earlier versions had reddish hair. Then it went to a darker brown hair. Imperial Commander, main 2 variations are the shape of the neck and the head. So you've got a sort of squattish one and a sort of longer head there. First appearance was 41 back card, same with the Leia Hoth. Rebel Commander, 41 back card, variations there. The FX21B, there's a more metallic blue version which is slightly rarer. But most of this information is just about the characters rather than the actual action figure. So this is good if you want to learn a bit more about the actual characters, the sort of history of the characters that are presented in the book via the toys. R2 Sensor Scope, Black Bespin Guard, Cloud Car Pilot, Forlom. Obviously the name Forlom and Zuckuss got mixed up. C-3PO removable limbs. So here you're going to have quite a bit of information about C-3PO again. and then a little bit about the actual action figure. So about that much writing is about the actual figure that you got and how it differed from earlier releases. TIE Fighter pilot, really nice figure. First appearance was 47 back card. Zuckuss, aka Forlom, so you've got the name swap, you know. First appearance was a 47 back card. Flat grey or metallic head, circle on back of knees or heels. So you've got a little bit of information there. Prices are just, you know, those prices would have been good for the late 90s. Admiral Akbar, so he was the first mail in. It's a trap. Bit of information about Jedi. Okay, the figures. Nien Nunb, Bib Fortuna. So you're not going to get any mention about the red-caped Bib Fortuna because he was sold in Mexico. You've got a short mask, Spiker Scout there, that's pretty good. Chief Chirpa, Emperor's Royal Guard, Gamorrean Guard. You've got dark and light armour. General Madain, you've got the green haired variant. Does he mention that? Grey moulded, dark modified. But there is a green haired variant. 3 Madains, Klaatu. This figure has the most variations going according to Rebel Scum, so you should check that out. Logray, Luke Skywalker with obviously with the sabers, blue and green, and the snap cape, all that sort of stuff. Flesh moulded head, painted head. So Luke Jedi has a lot of variations. Leia Bosch. So there's a lot about information about, you know, like Bosch is a successful male Ubi's bounty hunter, a race of graceful yet frail near humans with fair skin. So do you need that if you're going to be collecting the figures, that information? But it's useful if you're wanting to know about the history of the figure. Rebel Commando, 2 variations of that. Main variations, painted and moulded face. Re-Ease, obviously there. Painted hands, non-painted hands. Squid head. Re-K. I mean, he could have done so much more with this book. He could have talked about major variations like you know, Re-Ease, the Mexican version, all that sort of stuff. What else could he have done? He could have just talked about the actual figures, all the packaging variations. He could have gone on to foreign variations, foreign packaging as well. Should have definitely included Tri-Logo. Prune Face, Rancor Keeper, Teebo, Little Ricket. So it's all. Most of this writing is going to be about the actual backstory of the figures, Power of the Force. So this was the last hurrah for the original vintage line. A-Wing Pilot, Han Carbonite, Imperial Dignitary, Imperial Gunner, Luke Stormtrooper, Amanaman, great figure that one. Anakin Skywalker, he was a mail-in as well. Really hard to get. You can get him on a Power of the Force card, but that's very rare, very, very rare. Barada. Then you've got Lando General, really nice figure. The book's about to drop. EV99, he's quite a good figure, quite frail, easy to break. Luke Endor, Yak Face, not sold in the US, so he does go into Yak Face. Then he goes on to the coins. Some of these are really valuable. The ones that weren't carded with the figures that were mail away, some of them go for quite a lot of money. Star Wars droids, so you've got the new R2 there in a cartoon style. A-Wing Pilot, Boba Fett, Jantosh, Kiamol, Jor Dusat, Kezaban, C-3PO, Thal Jobin, Sizey From, Tig From, Uncle Gundy, but it doesn't mention Vlix, which you should mention if you know, just because he's such a figure legend, even though he was only sold in Brazil. Ewoks figures, so you got Dulux Scout, Dulux Shaman, Logray, King Gornish, Ugra Lady Gornish, Wicket Warwick, then 12-inch figures, R2, Obi-Wan, the Boba Fett. My cousin had the Boba Fett. Man, that was really, you know. Chewbacca, this is the only one I ever had when I was a kid, the Chewbacca. I've still got it, but I cut off the scope of the weapon. Then the Darth Vader, Han Solo, Jawa, Luke Skywalker. These figures just couldn't compete with the smaller figures. Princess Leia, C-3PO, Stormtrooper. And then we go into part 2, the accessories. Okay, so now we go on to the collector stand Cantina set, which is the Sears set, the American or US Death Star issue, and he should show the Palitoy version, but he doesn't because that was 4 an issue. But it's a great set. Here he's sort of writing more about the actual toy and all the stuff you get. The TIE Fighter, the white TIE Fighter, the Land Speeder, which in the UK was really different. The Sonic controlled Land Speeder, X-Wing Fighter. So back in the UK we got the X-Wing with no lasers. The Creature Cantina set, that was a good set. I had the Palitoy version when I was a kid. Darth Vader's TIE Fighter, that's a nice one. The Droid Factory Kenner set. The Imperial Troop Transporter, Land of the Jawas, 1979, it was $9.99. Imperial Troop Transporter, that was a good set. I wish I had that one. Millennium Falcon, I've still got my one of that. $30 originally in 1979, that was a great toy. You can see all about the Millennium Falcon Dewback. That was a nice one. The remote controlled Jawa Sandcrawler. That's a great toy. So he seems to be talking a bit more about the actual vehicles rather than the figures in this part of the book. Vinyl collector's cases. Let's see. Darth Vader collector case, Darth Vader Star Destroyer. That was a good set, I never had it though. There's the decals you got with the set. So it's nicely photographed, the book, and it is a good read, definitely. So it's worth the price if you can pick it up for about 16 quid. More collector set, Hoth attack base, Imperial attack base, that was a good set. Snowspeeder, Tauntaun. Snowspeeder was great. Trim-Pod Cloud Car, and then mail away action. So this is what you could mail away in for. AT-AT, that's something I never had. You always wanted it though. Then more accessories, the Cloud City play set. That was a hard one to get. The Dagobah. So you know you've got tons of information in this, but you've got the Empire Strikes Back, Imperial Cruiser. Differs with stickers. Then you've got mini rigs. More mini rigs. Slave One. Probot playset. More mini rigs. Int 4. The Rebel Transport Vehicle, the Chicken Walker ATST. You got some of the vehicles from oops, I've lost. Book's kind of heavy, I don't want to damage it. Okay, you got the A-Wing Fighter, that's a classic, that's really hard to find. You got the Power of the Force Tatooine Skiff, that is a really hard one to find. You've got the One-Man Sand Skimmer. These are all Power of the Force accessories, 1985. So you get an idea what this book's like. The Ewok Battle Wagon, Rancor, more TIE Fighters. No die cast, so you could have mentioned the die cast. That set. Okay, so overall this book's quite good, despite its flaws, despite the fact that it doesn't really talk about the actual figures too much. It's more about the actual history of the figures. So just to give you an example, produced by one of the largest droid manufacturing
Okay, here we're going to look at a couple of Lego Star Wars books. We've got the Lego Character Encyclopedia, we've got a Han Solo minifigure, and this one that came out first, the Lego Visual Dictionary, which I picked up just around Christmas time for $6.99. The exclusive minifigure of Luke. There's the Luke, little minifigure. And this is a great book if you're into Lego. And well, I'm not really into Lego, but I'm into Star Wars, so you know, I picked it up, and I knew that minifigure would be quite valuable. So here's all the different kits. So they started coming out in 1999, and you know, it's amazing stuff. So this is just like the, you know, if you're into Lego Star Wars, you're going to love all of this book here. And you've got all the different, you've got Anakin Skywalker, Obi-Wan Kenobi, you've got Jedi Knights there, Kit Fisto there, nice figure, Mace Windu, Yoda. Okay, so this is a really good book if you're into all this sort of stuff, especially all the minifigures. Some of these are really valuable, these minifigures, some aren't, but a lot of them are. Pod racing, Naboo and the Gongans, so you know, very much typical of a Dorling Kindersley book that goes into excessive detail about these characters and all that sort of stuff. There's the MTT. It shows you earlier releases of these vehicles, later releases of these vehicles, different minifigures, ATT, little figures, you know. I think I like the little figures best, so I'll probably like the second book better, but I mean there's some good designs there. I mean you've got the Land Speeder, the X-Wing there. My mate was into Star Wars Lego. He's gone to live in Thailand now, so but he had quite a few of these kits, and he's still got them. There's the Jawa Sandcrawler, that looks amazing. So there's the Millennium Falcon, look at that, amazing. You know, so if you're into Star Wars, either if you're into Lego or just into Star Wars, I mean this is a great book. I mean, you know, I mean it's not just for Lego heads or Legoists, as we would say. You know, this is for everyone that's into Star Wars, you know. Just shows you all the imagination and design that Lego have put into these little models, and you know, some of these must take ages to build. Look at that Star Destroyer, amazing. You've got the Bespin stuff here, great stuff. Cloud Car, that'd be nice. Y-Wing Fighter, that would be nice. The Tantive 4, that'd be wicked. I've got a few, not much though. I've got like some of the Episode 1, 1999, just the mini box sets, and most of them were presents, so you know. This is Jabba's Sail Barge, that looks wicked, man. You know. I've played all the games though. I mean I love the Star Wars Lego games, they're good fun. And I've just got that Lego animated DVD, that was quite good. If a bit short, Padawan Menace. Okay, so you know, if you're, I'd give this book, I mean I'm not into Lego, but I just love looking through the pages and all that sort of stuff. I love Star Wars, you know, and I get a minifigure with this for free, so you know I'm not going to complain it. There's a little TIE Fighter. I think I've got that little TIE Fighter there in a bag. Then there's a Technic set, all that sort of stuff. You know, great stuff. And then it goes about how these things are all made. There's the second Death Star, the Snowspeeder. That Snowspeeder looks wicked, man. And Darth Vader's TIE Fighter, all the figures that have been made, and these are highly collectible. You know, just go on eBay and see how much these minifigures go for. There's a gold C-3PO, that's meant to be pretty hard to find, and a few other figures that are, you know. But this book's really good. I mean, it's not just for kids, it's for adults as well. People that are interested in Star Wars, and people that, you know, I saw this at the Celebration in Europe. I've got pictures of this, and they're on my, if you check my video for Celebration 2007 in the UK, you can see that. So, you know, great book. and DK book. Retail price is $16.99. I got it for $6.99 in WH Smith, and you get this minifigure here as well, with Luke, you know. So quite a nice little figure there you get. So if you can find it for cheap, I'd say pick it up. Okay, cheers. Okay, so we've just looked at the visual dictionary, the Lego Star Wars visual dictionary. Now we're going to look at the Star Wars character encyclopedia. I got this last year at a book club, and I got it for half price. It's about £5. You get a free mini Han Solo when he gets the medal. I prefer this book to the dictionary because, I mean, I collect just the action figures. I don't collect the ships so much these days. I mean, I've got a lot of the ships from Power of the Force 2, but you know, I just don't have the space for all the ships, so I prefer the actual minifigures, I mean action figures, and these are the Lego equivalent, and it's good to see how they interpret these figures, because they've got a Lego style. So I mean, look at the head on this Ward. I mean, the head's just amazing, but the body is just your typical Lego figure. And there's Darth Maul, cool figure. Mace Windu. So this is done in characters by Alphabet, Battle Droids, Anakin Skywalker, or Naboo fighter pilot, sorry, Naboo Security. No, it's done in film order, so now we're on to episode 2. So you've got Obi-Wan and Anakin there. You've got Jango Fett, great figure there. Boba Fett when he was young. Sam Person, cool. Zam Wessel, Destroyer Droid. I've got to go through this fast because I think my memory card's going to run out. General Grievous. So a lot of people collect these figures, and some of them are really valuable, and this book's really good because it shows you the earlier incarnations of the figure, and that would be Seventh Heaven if I was a Legoist, someone that enjoys Lego and collects Lego as an adult. I sent in the word Legoist to the Oxford English Dictionary. I'm not meant to say this and try to get it into the but it's got to be used 50,000 times. So that's the word Legoist. Here's Chewbacca, nice figure. Kashyyyk Trooper, he looks pretty cool. Clone Trooper, other clone troopers. So this book's very similar to that action figure book that's just come out recently, Sansweet. This is just all about the Lego figures though. Anakin Fallen Jedi. 2-1B, Medical Droid, cool figure. Darth Vader, C-3PO, there's the gold C-3PO, Chrome Limited, and there's 5 gold, 14 karat gold variants, wow. Then we've got Rebel Troops, Captain Antilles, Leia, this one, and the Luke, Wicked. I've got a couple of the Kubrick figures, they're pretty similar to these, they're a bit bigger than these though. I've got the Luke Kubrick and the Boba Fett J-slot. There's a Jawa. Jawa looks wicked. Some more droids. I mean, it's just great design work, really, if you think about it. Look at the Stormtrooper. I love the head sculpt, Stormtrooper, I mean. And, you know, these characters have made themselves into the Star Wars games. Han Solo. Early releases, he was a yellow complexion, now he's a flesh complexion. It tells you what sets you got these figures in. Greedo. And who's this? Grand Moff Tarkin, a droid, Luke X-Wing, Biggs, Luke there. That's the Luke you get with that book there. Han Solo, you get that with this book. The Rebel, Luke Skywalker and Hoth. Han Solo in Hoth gear, Leia in Hoth gear. My favourite characters are Luke, Han and Hoth. OTC, original trilogy, man. Okay, so Laugh It Up Fuzzball got this book and did a great review of this a year ago. Luke, look at that, that's a wicked figure. Luke in the Bacta chamber. Probe Droid, AT-AT Driver, he looks cool. AT-ST Driver, Snowtrooper, got a nice head sculpt there. Hoth Rebel Trooper, Zev Sineska, Dak Rolta, cool figures. Luke Skywalker with yellow complexion, Dengar. Boba Fett. Who doesn't like Boba Fett? Bosk, great head sculpt there. Lando Calrissian, just done a review of him on a 32 1 back A B card, IG88. Yeah. Leia Bespin, Labot, just done a review of him, great little figure there. Luke Bespin, security guard, Bespin. Han, Jabba. They could do a better job with Jabba, the paint job, and the same with the Gamorrean guard. Bib looks pretty cool. Some droids. Lando Skiff, he looks cool. Leia Slave. Doesn't look that sexy there. Luke Jedi. Death Star Gunner. Emperor's Royal Guard, he looks pretty cool. Mon Mothma. R2-Q5. Admiral Akbar, it's a trap, it's a trap. General Mudane, Mon Cals. Come on, let's get through this book. The camera's going to run out of battery, I mean the memory. Endor Rebel Commando, Scout Trooper. They could paint that bit black, I think, and make it look a bit more in line with the Chief Chirper. What a cool figure. Paplu, Le Grey, Ewok Medicine Man, Black Ewok, Anakin Skywalker, R2-D2. Okay, so he's come a long way. Bespin, Obi-Wan, these are from the Clone Wars. Ahsoka, 2 clone troopers there. Look at that bomb squad trooper, like that one. Wicked. Let's get through this book. Yoda, Rota the Hutt, Asajj, Count Dooku, Plo Koon, Grievous, looks better in this incarnation. More figures. This one looks pretty cool. Nadaveb, Nute Gunray. So you know, this book's just sheer delight to go through. Highly recommend this one. I prefer this one to the rather than a visual dictionary, because I prefer characters. There's what's the name, Aurra Sing, and wow, Arth Trooper looks pretty cool. Clone Commander Wolf, oops a daisy, Shakti, that's a good figure. So this is a really good book. You just go through and you can choose any character you like. Let's go back to the Han Solo. So it's in Han Solo there, and that was his early incarnation. Sand Trooper, there's a variant with the orange pauldron, and Obi-Wan exiled. I know my mate had that land speeder. And then the droids, Jawas, Sandcaller. So this is a really good book, and you get a free little Han Solo there. I got this for half price. Retail is 15 quid. I paid about a £5 for this one, so I've got it for a third. Great book. So you've got 2 really good Star Wars Lego books there. You've got the Character Encyclopedia and the Visual Dictionary, and both come with 2 minifigures. So I highly recommend these books if you're into Lego or you're into Star Wars, because they're really visually appealing, well laid out, and you know, they're top notch. And I know Lego Star Wars is massive, and you know, so I'd say if you can get them for cheap, pick them up. Of the 2, I prefer this one. I think this book's better, but the other book's good as well, especially if you're into. This one's good for the Character Encyclopedia. Is good if you collect the minifigures. The other book's good if you collect or build all those amazing kits. Okay, cheers.
digital baseline, technology, digital baseline, music, digital baseline, technology, digital baseline, music, digital baseline, technology.
Okay, hi, we're going to look at this book here. It's The Making of Star Wars by J.W. Rinzler, and it's forwarded by Peter Jackson. It's the hardback version. You can get a paperback version as well, but the hardback version is better because you get way more photographs. And I paid about 20 quid for this, so it's a really nice book. This is just all about the making of Star Wars though. Then it's the British version. Its recommended retail price is £40. So you've got this amazing artwork here, stormtroopers and Death Star gunners on the original Death Star. So the making of Star Wars. Picture of C-3PO there. And it says it's based on the lost interviews from the official Lucasfilm archive, and it's about 360 pages, so it's quite a massive book. And you've got a forward by Peter Jackson, and you've got lots of really interesting things. You've got a picture there of a X-Wing prototype made by Colin Cantwell, and then you've got lots and lots of interesting things, famous artwork, and lots of pictures of Lucas in the early years, Lucas with Francis Ford Coppola, THX 1138. What else have you got? You've got early scripts like Journal of the Whills, Lucas's own handwriting there, early 20th century Fox logo. You've got things that influenced Lucas, so there's stuff like Flash Gordon and all the films from the 50s. Flash Gordon there. What else? Lots and lots of pictures of Lucas and other famous movie makers. Ralph McQuarrie. Pictures of Vader and 3PO and R2. Concept stages by Ralph McQuarrie. Early mock-up of the Y-Wing. Lots of really good artwork. So this book is definitely better than the paperback, just because of all the artwork you get. And it's really detailed as well. I mean, I haven't read it at all. I mean, I've looked at a few of the picture descriptions, but that's about it. And even if you just flick through this book just to look at the pictures, it takes quite a while to get through. So I should speed up, I think. So you've got early ILM shots there when they were setting themselves up and stuff like that. Pictures of Cloud City, which became Bespin in Empire Strikes Back. The Star Wars, early production badges. Lots of famous pictures there from the mid to early 70s. Lots of ideas. So, I mean, we're on chapter 4 now, and it says Frenzy, August 1975 to September 1975. Lucas standing next to an early R2-D2 mock-up. Lots of different designs for Star Wars. Let's see what else there is. There's early shots of the Millennium Falcon, Blockade Runner. That's quite an interesting shot there. Sandcrawler. X-Wing models. Let's get through this book, otherwise we'll be here till whenever. Wookiee picture there. There's quite a couple of famous shots there by paintings by Ralph McQuarrie. Another Ralph McQuarrie shot painting there. Great artist. And then actual production shots. Lots of detail here. So this book's really analytical. It really goes into a lot of detail about how the film was made, and you know, so if you're into filmmaking yourself, this is quite a good book for you. Or if you just have a general interest in the original film, the New Hope film, which I'd say is still my favourite film out of all 6. So there you are. Lots of interesting things. There's early Chewbacca costume there. Han Solo blaster. pictures are, some are in colour, some are in black and white, but the pictures are of high quality. The paper is of a thick glossy stock, so it's really nice, and the pages feel heavy, so it's a quality book, hence the original £40 price. There's then a guy building the Luke Skywalker's land speeder. There's building the original Millennium Falcon. I think they built it in Wales. Anthony Daniels getting up into the role of C-3PO there. Mark Hamill, good shot there. Off to Tunisia. Some shots from episode 4. See if there's anything interesting. That's a great shot there. These are the sand troopers, so it looks like they were played by locals. And there's the original Dewback and the sand trooper on top of that, so that's a great picture there. What else is there? Scenes of the sand people. And these famous shots there of Luke staring off into the horizon. You can still visit this place. It's somewhere in Tunisia. You've got 4 key characters there having a laugh. Shooting in the desert. There's Lucas, he's at the camera. You've got, let's see, the early cantina there. Got some of the aliens there. Great shot. It's a nice shot of Carrie Fisher there. You can see some of these scenes in the Star Wars Holiday Special. You've got Lucas, Luke and Obi-Wan instructing Vader. Harrison Ford there, famous shot there. You've got scenes aboard the Death Star, Peter Cushing. I mean, this book's quite anecdotal. It'll tell you stuff like Peter Cushing's feet were so big that, and the boots were so small that he had to act without his boots on because they're too tight. There are the 3 key actors having a break. Filming at the end of the getting their medals. What else? Having a laugh aboard the Falcon. The duel between Obi-Wan and Vader. Lots of famous scenes. So this book's great. If you love episode 4, you'll really like this book. I mean, in 1977 this film just changed everything. I've never seen anything like it. I saw it in 78, so it came out a bit later over here. Shooting aboard the blockade runner, it looks like. Famous shot from episode 4, right at the beginning. And you've got the book art there. Early concepts for the book cover. I mean, it was amazing that Lucas had the foresight to negotiate that he would get the actual rights to all the merchandising, and that made him so much money that he was able to more or less finance Empire Strikes Back by himself. And there he is. Lucas is adjusting the Stormtrooper costume. Actually, there's a famous shot here. This is what I believe to be Brian Johnson. So if you've got the figure, the Space Trooper, the Space Trooper's face is actually sculpted to look like his, which is Brian Johnson. He's a designer on Star Wars. I think he's a director now, I'm not too sure. And you've got Industrial Light and Magic early shots, Ben Burtt messing around making all the sounds for Star Wars. And then we've got posters advertising Star Wars. I didn't want to go see it. I wanted to. I only went because my uncle said there was a dinosaur in it, so I'm glad I did. Maybe I wouldn't be a Star Wars nutcase now though. There we are, Land Speeder. It's a good shot of the elephant as the Bantha. Designs for aliens for the cantina scene. Actual alien props, costumes. So this is a really good book. So just flip through the pages. Can't go wrong with this. Any Star Wars fan, self-respecting Star Wars fan, is gonna really love this book. It's totally about how the movie was made, and thus it's really interesting. And then we've got all the effects, how they did the hyperspace effect. So it's really interesting. Comic artwork there. I think the book's about to fall off. Famous covers. Man's Chinese Cinema, where it was first shown. Newspaper articles, magazines, famous magazine covers. Posters. All the celebrity of Star Wars, X-Wings, what else? There's Lucas. And then you've got deluxe edition bonus material, so you get all this sort of artwork as well in the book. This is at the end. So you've got pictures of rebel troopers, stormtroopers, in their early guises, plus Vader there, looking kind of weird. C-3PO looks pretty human with something in his mouth. There, let's see. So overall this is a really good book, can't complain, and it's still available. So if you're a big Star Wars fan, you can't go wrong with this. This has general appeal. So I think most people that are going to really appreciate that are people that are into the filmmaking and as well, and into the detail of how films are made, and also people that saw Star Wars back in the 70s and 80s, and so who grew up on Star Wars and still think that this is the best film ever, which I do. So we've reached the end, and this is the English version. I'm sure you can still get it in America as well. Brilliant book, can't go wrong. And there you are, The Making of Star Wars, based on the lost interviews from the official Lucasfilm archives. And you can get this in paperback as well. And this is the hardback edition. And I think it came out during the 30th anniversary, so about 3 years ago. But if you can still find it in a bookshop, pick it up.